the first thing I'll tell people when I do like beekeeping 101 classes and stuff is I'm not an expert. There really isn't a right or a wrong way to do this. It's all about what works for you, because bees can do, they can do their own thing in the wild, and so, but you have to do something. You can't just have, you can't have a dog and just leave it in the kennel. You don't want to get your hive called what they call honey bound. And they're starting to put honey in the empty brood spaces. So they got a whole new house that they can fill out, and they'll probably have that done by next week. And so going back to doing the intensive checks, I'll come out like every 2 weeks or so and just open the lid, take one frame out. I probably only do one of these checks every, once a month, so maybe twice a year.
Okay.
But there really isn't, as long as you're seeing, yeah, that's all full of honey. As long as you're seeing bees coming out and they seem to be doing their job, just that quick little inspection is really all you need, just to tell you, you take a middle frame out, and it just tells you, hey, there's a queen in there, they're doing their job. The more you mess around with these guys, the more that they're just gonna get angry, and it disrupts their whole schedule. And you really just want to do the least amount of messing around with them as possible. You just want to make sure that you're doing your job of making sure they're doing their job. Because bees live in trees just fine by themselves. So, they really shouldn't need that much help. If you do decide to be a beekeeper long term, it really isn't a bad thing to get stung once in a while. You're gonna have to expect 30 to 40% of your bees to die every year. That's just a standard number. Some people have been having more success. Seeing this stuff down here, this is all, if I would have had a box on them a little sooner, they wouldn't have drawn all that. That's kind of cool how they hang on to each other. That's called festooning. It's a neat little phenomenon.
Oh, so
that's
I
a
feel
great.
Like that looks really.
That's a great brood pattern.
Okay. Like it looks. I felt like that one looks different than some of the other ones.
So this one doesn't have any foundation.
Okay.
So see how there's space here? Mm-hmm. This is all just wax in here.
That's what they feel.
This is what I prefer.
Right. Yeah.
It's a little bit more delicate, but they really do a lot better with it. Bees are not a big fan of plastic. It doesn't communicate the same way that wood does, as far as like how they vibrate to talk to each other. And it just does not have the same characteristics as wood, and so they just tend to not. I don't use it unless it's already drawn out, because I have a hard time getting bees to use it. So if somebody has already gotten bees to put wax on it, then I'll use them. By artificially helping bees survive, are you doing more harm or good to the bee population? Well, the first thing I would tell people like that is that honeybees are non-native. So the fact that they can even live here and they either haven't taken everything over or just died completely is amazing. The other thing is that whether or not you want to treat, you have to do some kind of management. Whether it's like caging your queen or doing splits. Splits is very similar to caging the queen. Giving them some type of brood break, just doing something.